Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today.
Welcome everyone. Hello, my name is Nick Chow. I'm leading Plug and Play's sustainability team here in Europe. Today is the Expo. The Expo marks the end of the 3-month program for these startups who are going through the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform in partnership with the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. Today is the European Expo, meaning that these are all European startups who are ending plastic waste. And it has been an amazing last 3 months. It's been great working with the Alliance, the panel members, and especially the startups to really see the innovation, see their progress, and see the promising and potential for the future. Today, we will be having lots of startup pitches, some panel discussions, opportunities for people in the audience to connect with startups as well. So I am extremely excited to get started. Before we just jump into the startup pitches, for those who are new to Plug and Play, going to give a quick overview and intro on what we do. Plug and Play is an innovation platform with 3 core pillars. One is venture capital. We're investing in about 200 startups per year around the world. The second is corporate innovation. We're working individually with different corporations, fueling their innovation pipeline. And we're doing this with over 500 corporations across multiple industries. And then the third, which is especially relevant for today, is the accelerator programs. We're running 60 accelerator programs per year, and the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform is one of them. And so like I mentioned, we're really excited about our investment portfolio, have over 1,000 portfolio companies raising over $8 billion in total. And from the corporate ecosystem, we're also extremely excited as this corporate ecosystem grows, currently working with over 500 large corporate partners on their innovation strategies. And we're doing this globally. We have over 50 different offices in 6 sustainability hubs located in all different continents to really build your global reach. And so you can see Plug and Play as an ecosystem where we have corporations on one side, startups on another, key stakeholders in the innovation ecosystem also involved. And Plug and Play is here to break down those barriers and drive innovation and make it more efficient, more effective, more productive. And our programs, they span 18 different verticals, sustainability being one of them. And especially for the End Plastic Waste program, we're focusing on the entire value chain from collection to sorting to recycling to waste materials exchanges, because ultimately there's innovation happening across the entire value chain and innovation that needs to happen to really end plastic waste. Like I mentioned, we have these 6 hubs. The End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform is truly global, where the European hub based in Paris is the second one happening this year, followed by 4 others, some already running, some going to be running and kicking off later this year. And I wanted to give a special thanks to the member companies who are involved today for this program. Obviously, the Alliance to End Plastic Waste is a huge partner, and just want to say thanks for everything that they're working on, including also Dow, Milliken, Berry, Suez, Tomra, and Gemini. They played a big role in the selection process, mentorship process, and working with some of these startups as well. And for those who aren't familiar, actually behind the scenes, there was a lot of work to get into the program. We worked with those member companies in the Alliance to select down to about 11 startups for the European program. And this included looking at these curated lists, talking with the startups in one-on-one sessions, seeing them pitch in selection day in the stage 3, and ultimately onboarding them and working with them throughout the program. So like I mentioned, over these 3 months, it's been very busy. Every single week, there's an activity that startups can participate in, and ultimately ending in the Expo day. Some of the core activities for the program included advisor sessions, which are weekly one-on-one meetings to address specific pain points of startups. Expert sessions, which were also weekly, to address broad topics that can include or that can be relevant for all startups like sales. Also deal flows, which are connections to corporate partners, whether members of the alliance, members within the plug and play ecosystem, and also investors. And then the reverse pitch, where a handful of these member companies would actually present what their challenges are when it comes to ending plastic waste and where they're looking for startups to address those needs. Now, ultimately, for us, we are extremely excited and passionate about this problem, and extremely excited to see these startups when it comes to their innovation and what they're working on and their ambition. And ultimately, I just want to say thanks to the startups, to the entrepreneurs, to the member companies, to the people who are on the innovation teams and connecting with those startups directly. And of course, the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. This wouldn't be possible without them. And with that said, I'm going to pass it over to Elizabeth, who is our champion in Europe from the Alliance to End Plastic Waste, to say a few words.
Hello everyone, my name is Elisabeth von der Ohe. I am working in the Alliance's implementation team. I'm based in Germany, and I had the great pleasure to work with Plug and Play over the last few months on this European hub. For me, it was the first time working with Plug and Play, and it has been absolutely fascinating and interesting to see how these hubs are set up, how everything is organized, how Plug and Play works with startups, works with panel members, and works with the Alliance as well. And I would like to take this Expo Day as an opportunity to thank the Plug and Play team, especially Nick and Josephine, and also to thank the panel members, so the member companies that joined the panel for this hub, and also the startups for all their time, all their efforts, the great discussions, meetings, and pitches that we had. And I know that this Expo Day today only marks the next step of our journey. I know that there's a lot of interest in these startups from the member companies, from the Alliance. And I would like to invite everybody today to get in touch, to be engaged, and to work on these great ideas and these great organizations. And now I'm really excited to see the rest of the Expo Day. So enjoy it, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It has been an absolute pleasure. And that's enough of me. I am actually going to be passing it to Josephine Dares, our program manager, who is running the program, running the operations, making it extremely valuable for everyone involved. She'll be moderating the rest of the event. I will see you towards the end, but in any case, enjoy. And Josephine, over to you.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming to the Expo Day of Batch 2 Paris of the End Plastic Waste program. My name is Josephine Dares, and I'm the program manager of the End Plastic Waste platform based in Paris. Today you will meet 11 innovative startups who have just finished their program and who are driving innovation across the plastic value chain with a goal to end plastic waste. So let's get started with the startup pitches. At the end of each pitch, you will have a poll on your screen to let us know if you want to be connected over an email introduction. So be sure to keep track of the startups that you like and want to work with in the future. So first up, we have our data and waste material exchange category. Now, please welcome Circular in Motion from the Netherlands. They enable the sustainable transformation of the economy through circular business digitalization.
Hello everyone, this is Samuel Martinez, co-founder of Circular in Motion, CIRIMO. We make circularity a reality, from waste to value. We have created an all-round one-stop marketplace with blockchain as backbone, and that's for a reason. First, an open marketplace to precisely create a direct impact in the economy and businesses to become circular by enabling companies from the whole value chain to increasingly buy and sell renewable and recycled materials, helping to create end markets and added value to these materials. Second, blockchain do provide a transparent, immutable, trustworthy environment to ensure value chain traceability and proof of origin, digital certificates and standardization to ensure a true, long-lasting systemic change. We've been very busy during Plug and Play, the Alliance to End Plastic Waste Acceleration Program. We validated the platform beta version and its basic functionalities and have added and implemented additional ones in the now live commercial version. We will continue to add new functionalities in the coming weeks, such as a new complete logistics platform integrated with Trebo, which can be implemented with other third-party platforms too, or a Trebo mobile app. Trebo was selected by Sacyr Group, a leading Spanish waste management and service company, and IBM, the technology leader, in a Call for Innovation challenge where a pilot will be run. Another key milestone has been the global partnership reached with the leading trade, credit, insurance, and business information company COFAS to bring additional trustworthiness through incorporating extensive international credit insurance reporting and coverage to customers online. This also validated the excellent connectivity of the platform with third-party systems. We progressed from the initial dozen companies to close to 100 registered users in the platform, providing a good representation of the plastics value chain, which are located across all regions of the world. And that is excellent. However, further critical mass is needed going forward. Therefore, we look and call to progress further with the existing Alliance member companies we started discussions with, aiming to get them on board as premium paying users to support the scale-up of the platform and to get additional companies from within their value chains. We do thank Plug and Play and the Alliance. The expertise, insights, network, and organization of this joint acceleration program is being very valuable to us and will still be in the months to come. Finally, we are looking and willing to start conversations and engaging with investors and financial partners as we plan to open our first round in the coming months. So we expedite the scale up and potential of Trebo solution at a global scale. Our vision is clear: to enable the sustainable transition of the economy through circular business digitalization. We are starting with plastics and chemicals and aim to expand into other industry verticals. This is just the beginning. We are circular in motion. We make circularity a reality, from waste to value.
Thank you. Please use the poll now if you want to be connected to them over an email introduction. Now it's time to welcome Greenback from the UK. They contribute to a sustainable future by solving the environmental impacts of packaging.
Hi, we're Greenback, and we're transforming the way the world deals with plastic waste through building holistic, advanced plastic recycling solutions. This is the circular value chain that the world needs so that plastic used to package our food and keep it safe can become fully circular. It's a huge change, and Greenback is driven by solving this problem. We're not just a tech company, we're deploying real solutions globally. We do this by bringing together three key components. Number one, waste collection. We've formed partnerships with waste collectors in developed and developing countries, including waste pickers, the informal waste collection sector, which is such an important part of recycling in many countries. We create a new revenue stream for these guys by paying them to collect flexible plastics, those plastics which don't get recycled and therefore don't have any value today. And the reason that we do this is because that we're able to build plants that turn that hard to recycle plastic into oil. We do it with small scale plants, and we build them where the waste already exists, for example on landfill sites. And this is really important because transporting waste to be processed in large centralised plants is simply not a sustainable option. But underpinning all of this, and this is very much our angle here, is the circularity platform. Our software platform delivers or gathers data and evidence at the point where the waste is collected. This backs up the physical product with the provenance required to give the big brands, these guys here, the absolute confidence that the recycled plastic that they're buying can be traced right back through this chain to a source of post-consumer waste here. So having developed the recycling technology here in the UK, our first key customer deployment is in Mexico, where we have a team on the ground currently building this. And from this, you get a sense of the flow of materials through the process, and you can also see the points at which the data is collected and fed into the circularity platform. We've made significant strides in the last 3 months, having been invited into a number of bids with global consumer goods companies. And I can't say exactly who just yet, but we've also got our first contract in place now for Mexico, which we're really, really excited about. And being part of Plug and Play has given us some great intros to the members of the Alliance to End Plastic Waste, as well as potential investors. We hope to build on these relationships going forwards. So we've got a pipeline of projects going forwards, which we're planning around the world. So I'd love to hear from anyone interested in partnering with us to deploy these solutions, who can help us secure investment in the technology development or in the infrastructure, or who believe that they can help us further our vision of a world where plastic waste does not end up in the environment, but is genuinely used as a valued resource. Thank you.
Thank you. Please don't forget to vote if you want to be connected to Greenback. The last startups of this category is Reath from the UK. They focus on the safe reuse of items in a circular economy.
I'm Claire, co-founder of Reath, based in Edinburgh. We provide software that enables businesses to operate scalable, data-driven reuse systems. Now, when I say reuse, I'm talking about reusing an item for the same purpose again and again, rather than single use, which is designed to be disposed of or downgraded or recycled. We work across sectors, but packaging is a really interesting area for us because it's one of the fastest growing spaces. Currently, the amount of packaging on market that's already designed to be reusable is only 1.9%. But that's rapidly changing as targets are set for 20% by 2025. We're also seeing consumer demand play a huge role, and legislation such as the new waste directives from the EU or the packaging tax taking place in the UK, meaning that it's becoming more and more expensive for businesses to operate single-use systems. But there are a lot of challenges to changing your system from linear to circular, and that's where Reath comes in. We've identified all of these challenges and built a system that lets businesses get around these challenges. We power data-driven, scalable, and compliant reuse systems. Other businesses are operating in the dark, whereas our customers are driven by data. So here's a case study to give you an example and bring it to life. We work with a UK flagship retailer. We've worked with them to power their refill system, and we've given all of their reusable containers a unique ID. Every single time that reusable container is filled with a new product, its new batch, its new type of product, that container gets another stamp in its digital passport. This creates a ledger which lets us mine that data for interesting product insights, for operations and logistics optimizations, and for customer comms. During the last 3 months on the Alliance to End Plastic Waste program, we've been working with a lot of the program leaders to understand how Reath can supercharge our growth. And it's been incredibly helpful to learn from other businesses on the portfolio about how they've adapted to the new markets that they're entering. The biggest learning for us has really been around market readiness and how we can position ourselves to make the most of our go-to-market strategy. So the question I want to leave you with is, what targets can Reath help you achieve? We're aware that businesses are setting themselves targets for to reduce their carbon emissions or their waste, and that we're in a unique position to help you with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this speech. And now please use the next 20 seconds to use the poll.
All right. Hello, everyone. Now we are going to go into a quick Q&A session with the first 3 startups that you met. So it looks like, Samuel, you're here already. Mark
Hello.
as well, waiting for one last one. Great pitch, guys. Thank you for joining. All right, now we have all three. Perfect. So first off, thank you guys for the pitches, and we have a few questions for you. So I think we'll start with Samuel. From your side of things for circular motion, why another e-marketplace for recycled materials only? Can you think us through about the market and how you guys position yourselves?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. And first, it's not simply another one. I mean, Serimo was born out of the need to provide a solution to the number of issues I directly and personally experienced myself, having been circular economy responsible in the petrochemical plastics industry. So that is why we started with plastics. And the issues that I was facing myself was lack of circularity, connectivity through the value chain, lack of transparency and traceability of the materials in use. So that is why we incorporated blockchain technology in the core of the solution. And that's a crucial difference of circular motion versus other type of solutions that are out there as e-marketplaces. But why we choose as well to be a marketplace, that's as well because we wanted to choose to have a direct impact in the economy, to drive change, effective change in the economy by facilitating these businesses to take commercial transactions and to really do real business at a commercial level, I would say. And that's precisely on the renewable and recycled materials, because we want to have an impact on the circularity, to reuse and repurpose those resources that now are wasted to generate additional value whilst improving the resource efficiency and having a positive impact at the end, of course.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thanks for the details there. And just a reminder for all the audience, feel free to add questions into the chat. I'll feed them in here as we go. A few other questions. I'll move to Mark from Greenback. You mentioned that you're also focusing in a lot of the times in Mexico right now for the first projects. Why Mexico? What's special about Mexico?
Sure, yeah, Mexico is a really interesting market, actually. It's got a large population, obviously, and a growing middle class, and a lot of movement from real growth in packaged foods, fundamentally, in that market. But really, we're kind of driven by where our clients want us to go, and certainly that's been the major driver. That there's an opportunity there with the client, and again, it's a very large market for that client. But also Mexico is interesting in terms of the waste, the infrastructure around waste collection varies a lot across the country, but there's a sizable informal waste collection sector there, and that we see that as an opportunity, because that actually, if we can access that effectively, then that provides us with a very valuable waste stream of good quality, well sorted materials. So yeah, number of reasons.
Perfect, thank you. And kind of tying both of them together, why is there a need to trace the source of plastic?
Sure. I mean, I think that that's really what we're trying to bring on top of the actual recycling process itself. Fundamentally, we believe, and we already see it in the market at the moment, that the value of recycled plastic is higher than the value of plastic from virgin sources. That's going to continue. That market pressure is going to continue as the big brands are attempting to hit higher targets of using recycled plastic in their packaging. So because of that price differential, there will always be an incentive to cheat the system, right? There will always be actors that will come along and pass off virgin plastic for recycled plastic. So it's really important to have the visibility right the way back to the point of collection, so that we're capturing that data, capturing that evidence as the waste is coming in, so we can attribute the value of post-consumer plastic to the pyrolysis oil output from our process, which is then the input into the plastics manufacturers.
I could totally see that the value of that traceability and adding that trust essentially in the market here. I'm going to move to Claire here. I have a question for you. From your side of things, can you tell us a little bit more about the legislative changes that are driving kind of this growth in reusable packaging?
Yeah, so Mark touched on that actually, I suppose more from a recycled content side. And what we're seeing is that more and more pressure is being put on brands and businesses by government, understandably, to reach environmental targets that might range from increased recycled content in their packaging all the way through to a mandated percentage of packaging being reused or refilled by a certain date. So for example, in France, actually, we've just had some pretty clear targets deployed looking towards 2025, 2030. And we know that the new plastic economy global commitment is looking to businesses to confirm that they're going to transition 20% of their packaging to reusable by 2025, which is a very ambitious target. So all of this coming together, we're seeing that businesses are being forced to make a move towards reuse or refill because, as in the words of a brand that I was speaking to recently, they've realized it's the only way they're going to reach some of their either net zero or targets around resource efficiency in plastic waste.
And Claire, when it comes to fundraising, at what stage of fundraising are you at the moment?
So we've just closed a round, actually, which is very exciting. In fact, today. So
congratulations.
Very exciting celebration. Which is we've just closed a pre-seed round, but looking towards seed. I think things are moving very quickly in this space.
Amazing. We have one last question here. I'm going to actually go back to Samuel from Circular in Motion. So you mentioned you're starting this fundraising process pretty soon. Where do you see Circular in Motion in the next 1 to 3 years from now?
Yeah, that's an excellent question and has a depend answer, but with a clear route ahead, let's say. And the that will depend on the support level we get, and that's precisely linked to the fundraising that we are determined by having a good level of resources which are needed to provide the deliverables that we want to deliver. And therefore, the fundraising round we plan to do in the coming months will be instrumental. And I'm happy to engage with any party interested and further discuss as needed. But as an indication, we are targeting a global market, which only for plastics is rather big, is 300 million tons of plastics wasted, with a potential of $300 to $600 billion. And we will be capturing a significant portion of that going forward. A good starting reference point, I would say, is that we aim for enabling 500,000 tons to 1 million tons to be moved by the end of the first year, generating in excess of 2 million in revenues. And by year 3, having grown that by a high single-digit factor and expanded into other industry verticals beyond plastics. So from there, the sky is the limit, I would say. We aim to grow to a revenue of 5 to 10% quota of that market potential only for plastics that I highlighted before in the next 5 to 7 years. And that's something very feasible because we are talking about a global solution for a global problem, which is a very sizable problem. And then that's only for plastics. Then, of course, we will be adding other industry vertical potential businesses on top of that.
Perfect. Actually, we have one last question that came in. This one's for Claire. Claire, if you had to say who your target market is, who's your target customer?
Great question. So we've been focusing on retailers because they either own supply chains and manufacturing, have very, very close manufacturing relationships, and they also have the end consumer relationship. And so when you look at the Ellen MacArthur Foundation models of reuse and refill, the retailers are the critical partner in that. So yeah, that's who we've been mainly working with. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, both of you guys, all three of you guys, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure. Congrats on the fundraising. Congrats on this new project in Mexico. Sam, I know there's great things ahead, especially with this fundraising as well. So I want to say thank you again. For anyone who didn't connect with them through the poll, you can drop me an email as well. Happy to connect with everyone after this as well. We're going to move on. Thanks again for joining us today. We're going to move on to the next category, which is going to be design and processing. You'll hear from 4 startups. And then again, we'll do a small Q&A panel after this.
Now it's time to welcome Naturbeads from the UK. They work to scale up a manufacturing process for the continuous production of cellulose microbeads.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Giovanna, CEO and co-founder of Naturbeads. It's getting more and more common to read headlines like this in the news with microplastic found in the oceans, in the air, in marine organisms, and even most recently in human placenta. Microplastic pollution is one of the environmental challenges of the 21st century, and at Naturbeads we are addressing microplastic pollution by replacing polluting plastic microbeads with plant-based biodegradable beads. Many people ask me, why are plastic microbeads used? Plastic microbeads fulfill multiple functions, and so they're used as sensory agents in cosmetics, as binders in paints, carriers in agriculture, abrasive in detergents, and many other applications. The problem is that they're not biodegradable, and so environmental groups are lobbying governments to ban plastic microbeads. There are active and incoming bans for use in cosmetics, and now the European Chemical Agency is considering banning plastic microbeads in all applications starting from 2022. This means that companies are currently actively looking for alternatives to plastic microbeads. Naturbeads technology is an innovative process to mass manufacture cellulose, which is usually available in fiber form like cotton fibers or linen fibers. We produce it in spherical form so that it can be used as an easy replacement for spherical plastic microbeads. Our cellulose beads are made 100% of cellulose, so they are completely biodegradable. They are 100% natural. We don't add any additive, and they do not contain any contaminant like heavy metals. We can control size and particle size distribution so that they can replace plastic microbeads in many applications. In the last 3 months of the program, we received 15 materials requests, and we started pilot with companies all around the world, from US to Japan and Singapore. And what is more interesting is that we are testing our cellulose beads not only for application like paints and cosmetics, but also medical, for leather treatment, and even has edible scaffolding for lab-grown meat. Our latest progress is that we completed the pilot plant that will bring the production to 1 ton per year, and we also shipped our first sample produced with the pilot plant. The impact that we want to achieve in the next 5 years is not only to reduce plastic pollution that will contribute to improving life below water and on land, but because plastic is made from fossil fuel while our cellulose beads are made from cellulose, so from trees, we also want to reduce the impact of CO2 in the atmosphere. I really would like to thank Plug and Play and the Alliance for the support and the visibility that we receive through the program that has put us in contact with major players in different industries. And we look forward to working with them to reduce the impact of microplastic pollution. We are Naturbeads working for a clean planet free from microplastics. Thank you.
Thank you. You should see the poll now on the screen. Now, please welcome Aquapak from the UK. They focus on bringing multifunctional plastic into a circular economy.
Hello, I'm Hannah Sukias, Head of Marketing at Aquapak. Our product Hydropol is a specialty environmental polymer. It is designed to help companies replace traditional plastics such as PE in their packaging, whether that be for blown film for things such as bags, or lamination or extrusion coating onto paper. Hydropol is made from something called PVOH, which is polyvinyl alcohol, and the same material that is used on the outside of your dishwasher and washing machine tablets. Just like that, it is fully dissolvable, and we have grades that are designed to dissolve from 10 degrees Celsius up to 80 degrees, depending on the application. Our patent-protected technology, though, means that it can be thermally processed as it's much more stable at higher temperatures. So it can be used in existing machinery by packaging companies across many different applications. As I mentioned before, it gives high functionality, so whether it's combined with a traditional material such as paper or a new one such as a biopolymer, it retains and gives strength. It gives barrier properties to oil, grease and gas. But because it's non-toxic, it's marine safe and biodegrades safely and dissolves, it gives a low environmental impact. The dissolvability means that once it's dissolved, it will then biodegrade safely and quickly in the wastewater streams, so that there is no impact on land or sea. And if it does accidentally get out into the environment, again, it'll biodegrade naturally, just like a banana skin. Some application examples are garment bags, and Finisterre, for example, in their advert recommend to their consumers that they can actually dissolve it in hot water. Other applications include, as I've mentioned, food waste bags, form fill and seal pouches, dry food sacks, and also mailer bags that are paper but lined with hydropol to give strength and barrier properties, but then it can be put into the paper recycling at the end of its use, at the end of its life. I won't go through all the different end-of-life options at the moment, but if you do have any questions, please do ask me at the end. As you can see, it's water-soluble, compostable, and aerobic digestion safe as well. Plug and Play has helped us by really raising the awareness of Aquapak and our polymer hydropol. It's also given us connections with companies looking for alternative packaging solutions. We're having some really good discussions from those, so thank you for those. It's also helped us confirm our messaging and positioning that hydropol is an enabling technology, because it enables and retains that functionality whilst enabling end-of-life options. And as I mentioned, it has a wide range of applications. And one of the things that's happened in the last 3 months is the paper mailer bags that you just saw are being launched at the moment with Europackaging. If you know of anybody in the fashion world, our ask is that you maybe direct them to our webinar that we've got taking place on the 21st of July. Our panelists are going to be discussing the challenges of packaging, and especially the challenges within fashion and the increase in e-commerce. And of course, we'll share some of the solutions that Aquapak is collaboratively involved in as well. So all the details are on our website as shown below, but that's on the 21st of July, and we thank you for your help in that. I look forward to taking your questions shortly, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me directly after the event as well.
Thank you. And now please the next seconds to use the poll. Please welcome Veridis from the Netherlands. They aim for a significant improvement of the quality control in the plastic recycling industry.
Hi, I'm Wessel. I'm Chief Business Officer of Veridis in the Netherlands, and I'm introducing to you our new and patented thermal analysis for waste management. We combine hardware and software to deliver a material fingerprint of analyzed materials. Our mission is to deliver key recycling technologies to advance the transition to a circular economy. We provide sorters, recyclers, and converters with the most accurate information at a bulk scale on various applications. Our solution is an improved quality control device for complex polymers. We use standard sample handling, for example, granulate, powders, or flakes, and combine this with our thermal analysis. The output is direct and easy to use on current product spec sheets, and therefore we reduce the uncertainty in recycling and analyzing the complex materials with a factor 10 in comparison to current industry standards. Our machine can be put into several places of a recycling process. However, first we focus on our application end of line, right before the plastics go back into a product. We do this by the ability to identify dark plastics, which inflicts 10% of all recycled plastics. Also, we can detect material degradation and do this on a larger sample size and therefore make it available to 100% of all plastic recyclers. With this, we can directly increase the commercial value by 25% of all plastics. From the last 3 months, we have received 7 letters of support, intent, and various partnerships from important stakeholders in the industry. We also hit an important product milestone, and now we can do easy tests with future clients, and also we are now targeting clients globally. And this was also with the great help of the Plug and Play and Alliance to End Plastic Waste program, as they made various introductions to new clients and also investors and could really help us understand the industry better. Our ask at this moment is 100 million in form of a CLA or equity, as we are currently finalizing our 400k round, and we will use this money for market introduction and R&D, for example, for new use cases in batteries. Also, we are looking for new partnerships with various stakeholders in the plastic recycling process and are willing to form a consortium to further develop with our partners. We are Veridis and we are revolutionizing recycling.
Thank you, and please use the poll. So the last startups of this category is Poliloop from Hungary. They focus on curbing plastic pollution by working on integrating the plastic life cycle.
Hi everyone, I'm Liz, co-founder and CEO of Poliloop, working on the holy grail of plastic waste management solutions. Plastic has been demonized in recent years, rightfully so. Of the plastic waste we produce, more than 72% ends up landfilled or leaks into the environment. But plastic is not all bad. We use it in many industries. For example, for food production, not using it could lead to scarcity. So the problem is not necessarily with plastic as a concept, but with the mismanaged plastic waste that we create. We at Poliloop can change how we view plastics. We can make the polluting effect of plastics nearly completely disappear by integrating it into biological systems. This can be done by either complete biodegradation and assimilation or recycling via biochemical means. We can do this all through our patented bacteria cocktail that utilizes plastics as a food source. The most important thing is we can do this for most plastics in a matter of weeks. So everything from your PET bottles to your polystyrene cups to your multi-layer packagings to everything in between. We have also recently ventured into plastics used in construction and the automobile industry. We recognize that our solution is unprecedented on the market and can offer different things to different players. For example, the chemical industry. We are currently testing several plastics for biochemical recycling. This allows us to do two things: diversion from incineration and regaining monomers and reaction intermediaries. The process is similar to what has already been described with PET and PETAs. We're also in talks with plastic waste collectors. Their pain is that they can only profit off of the PET bottles that they collect. They have to pay for everything else to be taken to a dump or incinerated. By using our technology on site, they can get rid of their extra materials at a low cost and generate revenue while doing it. In the 3 months since joining the program, we have also joined the Respond cohort focusing on the UN sustainability goals. We participated in Select USA and identified key locations for our US market entry. We have also understood the corporate mindset, shifted our focus towards a more partnership, GV, and B2B focus. Currently, we're negotiating 6 pilot projects. Plastic is a huge problem. In the Alliance alone, there are more than 50 mega corporations fighting against it. We at Poliloop also realized that we cannot do it alone. We're a science-based technology company, and we're searching for the right partners to take this technology and make it a global solution. Please do not hesitate to contact us if your company would like to be part of this transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Poliloop. For anyone who is interested in connecting, please use the poll.
All right, now we enter the second Q&A panel with the startups that you just met or just saw. Thanks everyone who's using those polls as well. Gonna make some great connections after this. Looks like Wessel, we have you here as well, waiting for the last couple others. Nice pitch, Wessel.
Thanks.
All right, perfect. We have the 4 last startups here. I'm gonna jump right in. We have a handful of questions already. So going to start with Giovanna here. Just being a natural material would using cellulose as a raw material contribute to deforestation? Can you kind of clarify that when it comes to Naturbeads, please?
Yes, thanks for your question. Actually, cellulose is already produced in millions of tons for different applications. So we are looking to replace hundreds of thousands of tons. So our contribution to the production of cellulose is really negligible. In addition, with digitalization, the use of paper is reducing. So actually, cellulose companies are looking for new application for cellulose. So definitely, no, we don't contribute to deforestation. And we are working with sustainably sourced cellulose. So no issue from us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Next question goes to Hannah. What products is currently available that are being made from hydropole?
So at the moment, we have many products with our partners commercially available. A lot of from monofilm, so it's film made from hydropole, so that includes bags for garments in the fashion industry, laundry bags so that they're being used in hospitals around the world so that they don't have to debag, so reduces contamination of, for example, things such as coronavirus, gloves, aprons, etc. And we've also started to get some paper applications as well, including, as you saw, the mailer bag and some other packaging ones, which you should start hearing about in the next few weeks as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Wessel here. Can you just add a little bit more clarity on what's the added benefit and commercial value per ton of plastic? How is that calculated?
Yeah, sure. So with our improved quality control, we can actually increase the commercial value with an average of 100 euros per ton, or so we estimated in our conversations with market parties. And for us, it was a real eye-opener, as for every recycler or converter, how they viewed our instrument was really different. Some said, hey, we can cut costs within our process, or we can skip a few steps. Others said, hey, we can deliver higher value and can better determine the exact fractions within our batch. And on average, the added value per ton was 100 euros. That would really be beneficial to recyclers.
Amazing. Thanks for the clarity there. Have a couple of questions now for Liz here. When it comes to the polymers, like which polymers are you able to biodegrade, and can you handle things like PP and multi-layer material? Do you have any test results or case studies already to share in that sense?
We have test results and case studies for all of these plastics. We tested PET, HDPE, LDPE, polypropylene, PVC, polystyrene, expanded polystyrene, multi-layer packagings, ethyl vinyl acetate, mixed packaging, the composite packaging, which has multiple plastics in it, polyurethanes, and also multi-layer, so where it's plastic and aluminum, for example. We have a pretty good idea on how the chemical bonds are being broken apart. So even the carbon-carbon one, which is, I think, the most fantastic of it all, and that's the true breakthrough of this technology. In the case of multi-layer packagings, we see that they eat the plastic, but the aluminum stays there. So after we do analytics on the biomass, we see that there's a high concentration of aluminum.
And another follow-up question to that, do you have any limitations to the technology? Like how does this scale?
So I think that the way we see the limitations, we see them as challenges, and then we see them as opportunities, because we now are in a more advanced stage of R&D and understanding our technology, and we see a huge opportunity to the biorecycling as well, how they do it with PET, so we can go back to virgin polymers. And we are working very hard on finding the right balance on when to stop the depolymerization process so we can take it back to the original polymer. Regarding scaling, we have a pretty good idea on how to scale to a certain threshold, so to the scale of a community level, a community biocomposter of plastic. When we're talking about mega industries where we're integrating it into the waste management system of a city of 5 million, for that, we need to form partnerships because that's something that industry players understand and not technology-oriented people like we are.
Yeah, I think partnerships just in general with these big systemic issues is really key. Have a question. I'm going back to Giovanna here from Naturbeads. Which are the specific advantages? I know you listed a few, but what are some of those advantages of cellulose over some of those other competitor materials? Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yes, cellulose has been developed by nature to be a very resistant material. So we are surrounded by cellulose and it is very stable. But at the same time, it is fully biodegradable because if cellulose ends up in marine water or in the soil, it biodegrades under the attack of microorganisms that they transform into harmless sugars. So with respect to other biodegradable material, it has a very good chemical and mechanical stability, but at the same time is 100% biodegradable.
Thank you for clarifying that. And then another question actually for Hannah from Aquapak here. You mentioned that it's marine safe. How do you know Hydropol is non-toxic and marine safe? Can you elaborate there?
Yeah, well, Hydropol base material is PVOH, polyvinyl alcohol, and that's been around for 40 plus years. So there's been lots of tests on that to confirm it's marine safe. We've also done our own testing as well. In fact, we've got a 2-year project currently underway with Heriot-Watt University up in Scotland, just to confirm what happens in terms of what happens to hydropol in the sea and also compared to other plastics, because we're very keen that everything that we do is backed up by science, because we don't want to be greenwashing. And so all the test results and reports from that from both Heriot-Watt and all the other universities can either be contacted by contacting us or available on our website as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And yeah, I love the fact that you can find that on the website, but always recommend reaching out and connecting in person. Wessel, another question for you here. So you mentioned that you're raising $1 million or €1 million. What are those big product milestones that you want to achieve within the next couple months?
Yeah, we actually hit an important product milestone in that we now do continuous testing for our potential clients. That really proves already a little bit the value that we can add, as I was earlier talking about. However, with the 1 million, we can really make this increase and prove scale. We are now in the process of having our pre-seed round already funded. So the 1 million is really to provide that scale and to show that our solution is also beneficial, not only in the Netherlands, not only in the Benelux, but really for all of Europe, all the recyclers within Europe.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And then another question here for Liz, going back to Poliloop here. What pre-treatment is necessary for your solution to work on plastics? And you already talked about the plastics that you were tested on, but if you can talk about the pre-treatment, that'd be interesting.
We don't do any pre-treatment except for light washing and then rough grinding, meaning to, don't put the plastic bottle in as a bottle, but have more surfaces for the bacteria to attack it. And the light wash with water is sufficient.
Okay, perfect. And then I think one last question we have, feel free for the audience, feel free to add more questions, but I think the one last question we have is again for Liz here. When it comes to those tests, were those tests conducted under the ASTM standard conditions or real world testing?
Real world testing. So everything that we did, we tried to imitate real world conditions. So how would this look like in the industry, with trying to add a lot of mistakes, and like we didn't wash the Starbucks cup we put it in with the remnants of coffee, for example, to see whether the degradation could occur fully. Of course, as soon as we ventured into things like gas chromatography and liquid chromatography and mass spectroscopy and ATR, FDER, we try to take away some of the background noise, so just some of the pollutants. But that is just for us to have information from a subcellular level. But the degradation, it was full real life setting, and the super deep analytics was a bit simplified so that we don't have that much background noise and we know where every molecule is coming from.
Perfect. Thank you for the background there. And I think that's all the questions we have here. It looks like there's contact details also in the chat. So for anyone who wants to follow up with questions directly, we can always do that. But I just want to say to you thanks again for all the innovation you guys are bringing to the table. It's been super exciting in learning from you guys, but also seeing you guys grow and thrive. I'm really excited for what's in the future for all you four.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And so next up, we are going to the next category, which is collection and sorting. And we'll do the same handful of startup pitches and then a live Q&A session at the end. So don't forget the polls, but again, you'll also have the live Q&A towards the end.
Now, please welcome Litta from the UK. Litta is a creative startup that gamifies the collection of crowdsourced data.
Hello, my name's Matt Pollen and I'm the founder of Litta, and we're turning mobile gamers into citizen scientists. So we're looking to tackle litter in a completely different way. Firstly, through gamification, secondly, through creating a community, and then thirdly, through taking a data-led approach to tackling litter. So what does a gamification look like? Well, imagine, if you will, a cross between the old-style Tamagotchis and the more recent Pokemon Go. Users have a little creature, which we call a litter bug, that they have to look after and feed. And these litter bugs belong to one of 4 different tribes, all based off of recycled material. What do they feed their litter bug? Well, they feed it litter. And the way they feed it litter is by helping us to map litter. That's as simple as taking a photo of a piece of litter, that gets uploaded. We then get the information on the location, the type and brand of litter, and the user gets rewarded with in-game progression. And then the user can bring their litter bug into the real world through augmented reality. And we have some big plans in the very near future to build a whole litter bug universe in the augmented reality world to make it that much more engaging and fun. How are we creating a community? Well, we're developing brand-sponsored quests that users can complete either as an individual or as part of a team, so a university team, a village team. We're developing local partnerships, so with local businesses and councils to help stimulate a grassroots movement. And then there's a whole fitness aspect to what we're doing in terms of mapping different routes based off of the litter that is mapped by other players that people can go on and then go around and find. What do we do with the data that we capture? Well, a good use case of this is we were recently talking with a housing estate who were looking to engage their residents and community in sustainable action. We could help with the hotspot mapping of the litter through the residents playing the game. We could overlay that with the current waste management infrastructure that they have on the site to identify any inefficiencies. We can help with the route optimization of the cleaning teams. We can also help them plan and anticipate future needs and gather a whole wealth of public perception data around litter all through the app. And then the potential of impact of something like this is 11 million residents living within social housing and over 1,600 different housing estates. So we just want to build up a blueprint of what this might look like with one housing association and then potentially scale that across the country. During the last 3 months, we've recently started our pre-seed raise. We've released our second MVP with updated and new litter bugs. We've also brought on a couple of new team members from the design side. And then we've recently started talks with 2 universities in London who could potentially trial the solution when the new term starts in September or October. And then during the last 3 months, we've had some great conversations with different Alliance members about potential partnerships once we're a bit more developed. We've had also some great mentoring opportunities, and we have submitted a project to the Alliance for potential funding that we're waiting to hear back on. And we're currently looking to expand the number of brand partners that we are bringing on board, especially with the FMCG sector, so brands that whose items are routinely littered. We're also looking at bringing on and speaking to more investors. And then we're also looking for trial partners, so schools, universities, local authorities who might potentially be interested in working with us. So that's a bit more about Litta and what we've been up to. Thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you for this speech. You should see the poll now on the screen. It's my pleasure to welcome now Diwama from Lebanon. They use computer vision software for waste sorting facilities and recycling factories.
Hello, I'm Christopher Arida, founder of Diwama, and we're a startup working on making waste management seamlessly accessible and affordable for the whole world through applying digital transformation to the industry. This is why Diwama is introducing Vitron, an AI-based image recognition software that automates waste auditing. Through a camera and a deep learning algorithm, the several types of waste are detected and characterized in real time. And accordingly, data is collected on the waste streams, which is used to provide actionable insights that improve the manual sorting process and sorting facilities without replacing human workers and without the need for expensive robotics to sort. By improving the sorting and providing quality audits, the recovery and purity of recyclables are increased. Finally, the collected data can be leveraged by companies, organizations, and governments to improve sorting of waste at the source by providing incentives and targeted awareness campaigns. We are currently working on a pilot with one of the major waste management players around the world. The project involves implementing our technology on the consumer and industrial level. Starting on the consumer side, we are integrating our AI algorithm in their mobile application. So using a simple phone camera, we are helping people sort better at home by simply scanning the waste items, and the AI tells them if it's recyclable or not. By doing that, we are increasing recycling awareness and source sorting, which is resulting in higher quality recyclables collected. On the industrial side, we are installing our cameras in their sorting station, where waste is characterized based on type, weight, and brand, and displayed on a screen for human sorters to increase sorting efficiency. By detecting the waste at the station, we are tracing it back to the source and accordingly providing consumer behavior analysis. Finally, through our brand detection, we will be collecting data on the packaging journey and providing proof for the brands that their products are getting recycled and thus aid their extended producer responsibility. During the Plug and Play Accelerator, we discovered the new business model of selling data to brands and therefore introduced brand detection into our technology. We also started collaborating with another startup in the program, which is Greenback, for providing waste tracking and documentation. We secured a pilot with one of the biggest facilities in the MENA region and another with a major player in Europe. Finally, we started raising our pre-seed round and are in talks with multiple investors and planning to close the round in September. We are currently raising a total of $415,000 and looking for VC and business angels to complete our round. We are also looking for pilots and proof of concepts in Europe, considering the limitless applications that our technology can cater for. And finally, we are seeking to partner with consumer packaging good companies for data exchange. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, and the polls are up. Let's give a warm welcome to Trebo from Norway. They develop a novel sorting technology that enables plastic converters to recycle complicated scrap mixtures on sites.
Hi, I'm Thomas, co-founder of Trebo. We turn industrial plastic waste into valuable resources. At Trebo, we've made it our mission to provide the plastics industry with technology to help limit plastic waste. We believe that plastics should be recycled, not downcycled. Our sorting system sorts highly complicated plastic mixtures into the individual plastic types, obtaining virgin grade qualities. This means that the sorted plastic can easily go back into production, enabling closed loop recycling. Our sorting system turns plastic waste into profitable material streams and also decreases CO2 emissions. Our patented technology for quality sorting of industrial plastic waste has three major competitive advantages. Our fluid mechanical sorting technology enables the sorting of highly complex mixtures that current technologies cannot sort efficiently. With this technology, we obtain virgin grade qualities with sorting purities above 99%. The machine scalability allows it to be implemented directly at the plastics converter sites, decentralizing the sorting process. With our demonstration system, we're enabling one of our customers, Schneider Electric, to closed loop recycle one of their main waste streams without compromising their quality measures. Schneider Electric ships their plastic waste to Trebo. We sort it and ship it back, where it's molded into new identical products. The results are extremely positive, and products from the sorted waste streams are already sold to customers worldwide. Here are three highlights from the project. 99.5% purity degree on the sorted plastic. 95% of the plastic waste is recycled. 50% cost savings in procurement of virgin plastic. The last 3 months have been on full speed with various projects keeping us busy. We are on the edge of closing several important deals with major international clients. We can't reveal who we're negotiating with, but we can say that we're looking at a very busy summer. We have also been nominated for the prestigious Plastics Recycling Awards Europe in the category Recycling Machinery Innovation. We're super excited to compete amongst the biggest, most acknowledged companies in Europe. Lastly, we've welcomed a new chairman to our board and a new board member. The new board is visionary, and with their backing, only the sky's the limit for developing Trebo into an established company. Plug and Play helped establish contact with, amongst others, a Fortune 500 company that manufactures and sells lighters, stationary products and shavers, all made of different plastics. At this moment, we're testing out the sorting of post-consumed lighters, and it looks very promising. Stay tuned. All in all, these past 3 months and the Plug and Play program have been great. And don't forget, plastic waste represents a huge untapped value for converters. We have the technology. If you have the plastic waste, let's recycle it, not downcycle it. Thank you.
Thanks, and please use a pulse. So the last startup of the category is Urbyn. Urbyn is a small waste management platform based in Paris.
Hi everyone, my name is Julien. I'm CEO co-founder of Urbyn, French startup based in Paris. So you know the problem, our current world is only 9% circular, so we still have a lot to do, but hopefully there's one solution, which is circular economy. So at Urbyn, our main focus is on businesses. We want to help businesses to do better with their waste management. Why? Because they produce more than 90% of the waste tonnage in France, so this is huge. And also because they struggle with three main difficulties. The first one is waste management complexity, sustainability challenges, and also financial constraints. The waste management market in France and worldwide is quite big. It's increasing, and it's a very dynamic market because it's regulated by, for example, Europe. And recently, for example, we had the bio-waste regulation, the 5 waste streams regulation, and the single-use plastics. So basically, what do we do? So Urbyn is a digitalized and decentralized waste management platform for businesses. So firstly, we help businesses to understand their waste, to find the right solutions locally to recycle their waste. And then we oversee all the waste operations and provide analytics online for the company to have a good overview of their waste, different waste streams. So to do that, we have two main assets, a network of 400 professionals, recycling professionals, everywhere in France, small company and big company. And we have developed tools for us to source and orchestrate all the waste operations, and also for our clients to see all their analytics online. So what do we bring to our customers? Firstly, we aim to improve the sustainability of the waste management at our client sites. So, for example, in this case, we increased 20% the diversion rate. We help them also to optimize cost and to save time. What is the business model? Two business model. Third party. We don't own the waste management contract and invoice. It's the vendor directly, and we receive fixed fees from the waste producer. Or we can act as a waste management company, and we invoice the waste management services, and we own the waste management contracts. A few of our clients, mainly big one, but we have also smaller clients, mainly in France. And we work with more than 400 solutions, mainly in France too. This is the team, 14 people, young and talented. And yeah, that's it for us. Thank you for listening, and see you soon, I hope. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We're back to the polls.
All right, everyone, we are back for the final live Q&A. So we'll bring up the last 4 startups as well. Hey, Matt. Thank you for everyone for using those polls and sending a few questions. Looks like we have 3 of the 4, just waiting for one more. I think we do have some questions for you guys who are on right now. So I think we'll just jump right in and we'll go from there. So first question goes to Matt. So how do you see this solution tying in with any upcoming government regulations?
Hi, Nick. So yeah, there's a couple of really exciting regulations coming in to the UK over the next few years. The first being the deposit return scheme. So this is going to put a physical deposit on every bottle and can sold. And what that will really help to do is actually turn Litta and Litta Hunters, the game, into a real life treasure hunt for Litta. So we'll have the map locations from players of the games of different items that other users can come on. If they want to go around collecting the bottles and cans, they can then do that via it being mapped through the game. We can then help them deposit those at different locations. So as a wayfinder to find the nearest drop-off point, and then also potentially act as a digital wallet for those rewards. So that's something that's meant to come in the next couple of years, which is really exciting. And then the other one is the extended producer responsibility scheme. So actually shifting the responsibility back onto the producers for the waste that they produce. So for example, if Red Bull produce 1 billion cans in the UK, actually holding them account for where they end up, and we can either act and work with them to help them kind of recognize where their littered items are, or we can work with the regulators and say, hang on, we know where 1 million of Red Bull cans are because they've been mapped by our players. You can now hold them to account. So there are a couple of the regulations that are coming in that could be really beneficial for what we're trying to do.
Amazing. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I think there's a lot of regulation that's coming to support some of this innovation here. Another follow-up question for you, Matt. Is there a bigger vision, or are you really just concentrating on just tackling litter?
Well, I suppose at the moment, Litta is kind of where we're starting. The bigger vision for it is, I suppose, the gamification of things. So it's anything that relies on crowdsourced data or is difficult to collect as an individual, for instance, or time consuming. That, in our view, can be gamified, and we can kind of call on the crowd to help gather that information. So whether that be, potholes or in-home recycling or anything that could potentially be crowdsourced, we could gamify that. And yes, we're starting with litter, and litter is a huge problem. It costs local authorities in the UK 700 million a year. I think in the US it's about 13 billion, and in the EU about 10 billion. So that's a huge problem by itself. But we see multiple applications for our gamification in other industries as well.
Amazing. Yeah, I could see the power of gamification as well. Have a question here for Andreas. Can you share a little bit more about your fluid mechanical sorting technology? How does that work? Is it able to separate things like textile fibers?
I think if we look at textile fibers, we have a complication of the fibers mixing each other into each other very well. So we have tried with something similar where it was very hard to get a proper result. But I mean, we haven't tried with textiles yet, but I think it would be a bit of a problem. We are focusing on more on solids. Yeah.
And as a follow-up to that, if you're focusing on solids, what types of plastics can you sort with your technology?
I mean, in theory, we can sort all kinds of all types of plastic. What we look at is the mixtures of the different materials in a mixture. For example, different plastic types, and if there are differences in either density, shape, or size, we can sort it out. We are primarily focusing on engineering plastics, but we are also now able to sort out polyolefins. So we are evolving and improving our technology.
That's great. And I want to double click a little bit into the technology. Can you explain a little bit more, what's unique about your sorting technology?
I would definitely say quality. So we are able to sort complicated plastic mixtures with a virgin grade output, so that we can enable closed loop recycling. So that's the best quality of and competitive advantage. We also have others, but I will definitely pinpoint that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for the details there. Have a next question. I'm going to shift to Christopher from Diwama. With optical sorting, if you want to expand into different types of markets, obviously the waste will be different. How do you think this will affect performance when it comes to your sorting system, and how long does it take to get up and running for a new system in a new market?
Yes, hi. So definitely some products or waste items differ between countries, but our deep learning technology recognizes shapes, and most of the products, such as, for example, shampoo bottles or packaging for big brands, are the same across countries. We are also using brand detection to increase our AI accuracy, which also helps in recognizing new shapes so we can scale into any region. And how much does it take? So since we are early and still developing our algorithm, we need around 2 months to provide the customer with our product that has good enough accuracy needed. And with time, this period will be reduced to reach as low as just 1 week.
Wow, that's extremely fast. Can you elaborate a little bit more when it comes to working with brands? What's the business model there? What data are you exactly collecting?
Yeah, so we discovered this business model recently, and we're still in the customer discovery phase to know what data is exactly important for these brands. But for now, we are collecting the type and the count of a branded product, so we can go tell the brand how much of their own specific product is actually being recycled or landfilled.
Perfect, thank you. I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. I'm gonna go to Julien from Urbyn. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what your key benefits are for the solutions, and just given that we have a lot of the large corporations here, maybe what are the benefits for large companies?
Yes, hi everyone. So yeah, mainly what we bring to large corporates, it's the management of waste management contract. When you have a lot of different companies that deal with your waste. For example, we manage corporates with more than hundreds of sites, and it's easier for them to have only one operator that can deal with all the sites and all the waste streams. And so first key benefit for them is simplicity of management, and it's what we bring with our platform. And then other benefits are budget, because we are about to optimize waste management cost, and of course decrease diversion rates from landfill for these big corporates.
Perfect. And when it comes to working with big corporations, how do you start with a solution like yours?
It's easy. We often start with a diagnostic phase where we scan all the waste produced by all the sites of the company, and for that we have a software online that we give to all the different people that are responsible for waste management on site, and they just complete and fill a kind of a smart form, and then they receive first recommendation on how to improve their waste management. And for us, we have a first picture of all the waste streams in all the different sites. So it's an easy way to start and to find quick way to recycle more and to increase diversion from landfill.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks for the details there. I have another question here. This goes back to Andreas from Trebo. Can Trebo technology work with thin plastic film?
Yeah, we have tried that with success with a couple of companies already. Yeah. So and back to the question with textile fibers, and we are always up for a test. So if someone has a waste stream that would be of interest, we'll love to test it out. We have some small test systems where we can test down to a couple of kilos, where we get a very good we can see if it works really well. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's a great thing to add. And I think at this point, we're all about that collaboration, partnership, and innovation, which requires some tests. So I do encourage that as well. Well, look, I think that is all the time for the Q&A. So I just want to say thanks again for you guys for joining, being part of this, answering these questions. I'm super excited for what you guys are about to do next. But in any case, want to say it's been a pleasure, and we'll talk again soon.
Yes, thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. So that wraps up the Expo. It marks the end of the second End Plastic Waste European program. We really hope you enjoyed the pitches. I hope you were inspired. I hope you took this opportunity to connect with these innovative startups. And really from here, we'll make email intros in the next couple days. So I just want to first off congratulate all these startups. I have to say it's been truly a pleasure working with all of you and seeing them, seeing their innovation over the last 3 months. However, I'm equally more excited maybe actually for what lies ahead for all of you and the impact that you will have on ending plastic waste. For the audience, there's no time like the present to build partnerships to end plastic waste, because this is going to be a global effort. It's going to take partnerships. It's going to take collaboration from across the value chain. So for anyone who might have missed those polls, I will put my email in the chat, and happy to make those connections offline as well. Really quick note, for any of the African startups who might be listening in and also might be interested in joining, our next End Plastic Waste program will be in Johannesburg. So feel free. We will also add a link here at the end. Feel free to use that link, send that link to others that you might know. For any corporations in the audience who wants to learn how Plug and Play can drive innovation for a more sustainable future, our team would love to speak with you. And again, that is all for today. Want to wish you a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Thanks again for joining. We hope to speak again soon. Bye, everyone, for now.